What's going on, guys? This is Miasin, and I realized I haven't made enough Genesys, I was gonna say re-Genesys content, so this one is going to be kind of like a compilation of a bunch of, well, you know, top performing deck lists, I guess you can say, so top 8 at a couple of events, 45 players, and then 250 players, and then 250, it's pretty much the same tournament, so as we get, like, more, I guess, like, data and statistics on which decks are doing better, it's gonna be easier for me to kind of make, like, a almost like TCG metagame breakdown reports. But yeah, anyways, before we go any further into these deck lists, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. It really motivates me a lot to keep actually making Genesys videos. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So the first one is Mage, which is a deck that I've been seeing quite a lot, and the reason for that is because it doesn't need to play link monsters, obviously, and the engine is naturally decent. It can get some negates out, which is good, and, you know, you can get some decent interruptions. It's relatively consistent. Plays Spot of Extravagance really well, and if your deck can play Extravagance in this format, it's like an instant 3-of because it doesn't take any points. Whereas, you know, Desires is 20 points, and then obviously Pot of Greed is 30 points, so it's really funny how pretty much nobody's playing Pot of Greed. But yeah, this is, you know, an interesting deck list for sure. The points are being used on Fua, Nibiru, as well as Black Goat Laughs out of everything. That's super interesting. It's not even like thrust into Black Goat Laughs. It's really just straight up 3 Black Goat Laughs. I didn't think of that. I mean, I don't disagree with it. As a matter of fact, I think it's really good because this deck discards a lot of spells and traps in order to use this card right here, the Mage Academic Arcane Arts Acropolis. What the frick is this? So yeah, obviously when you discard the Black Gold Laughs, it's a good thing. It's not like you're trying to discard a Thrust, which doesn't have any value. And obviously Lost Wind has been a staple in this deck, and it's 0 points. So very respectable. I definitely do like Vados. It's a really good card to play in this format. Because obviously it's another 0 points card that is a hand shop that hurts some people. So yeah, obviously the more you want to play as many hand shops that cost 0 points so that you can dedicate your points on some really good cards. But yeah, this is 21, 41, 71. Am I stupid? No, yeah, 71 with 85 and then plus 9, 94. 94 points, not even maxing out the amount of points. Maybe I'm just stupid and I can't math, but okay, cool. Pretty nice deck list. So Mage is definitely looking like a good deck. I don't really know the exact amount of starters. I think Medius, the Pure, is a starter, and then the Field Spell is a starter if you have spells and traps. This can place the Field Spell, so it's a starter. And then, yeah, this Search is Medius, so it is a starter. And Extravagance, let's just say it is a starter. The Quick Play Spell, this card doesn't do jack shit. So yeah, 3, 6, 8, 11, 14, yeah, it plays 14 starters. It's not enough to my liking, but it's fine. Now we've got Radiant Typhoon Runick. Very interesting how there's the Runick engine, but there's no Hugin, obviously, because you can't summon in the extra monster zone. So the Runick cards, they are by default incredibly nerfed in this format. And there are only 2 different points cards in this whole deck list. So it's 3 Pot of Greed as well as 2 Droll. The only thing that I really dislike about this deck is the fact that it's 41 cards. It defeats the purpose because obviously when you play Pot of Greed, the goal is to play 40 cards so that you have a higher likelihood of seeing Pot of Greed, a higher likelihood of eventually drawing into it and stuff. So I think that's just not the best concept. I think you might as well just cut 1 card from it. It shouldn't be too difficult because, again, there's no Hugin, so you might as well cut down like the 3rd Slumber, for example, and then it's like a clean 40, and then it's, you know, it's better there. But yeah, that's a nice deck list, very nice concept. Whenever you activate a Quickly spell card, Crocea can summon itself, and then you can search like 2 cards, so any Radiant Typhoon as well as MST. Very powerful card. Lava Golem obviously is your searchable, I say it's not a searchable out, but you're drawing so much that you might very well search, like draw into this card, and then you can out like Lava Golem and annoying monsters. So I have actually noticed that a lot of people are unable to get rid of a Liger Golem that is summoned, but if you actually go second with Loonlight, you can easily just OTK summoning like 2 Liger Dancer attack, like effect, and then destroy everything, attack infinite times, and then it's over. So yeah, this is something that you can do easily. But yeah, this is a very nice deck list with Ultimate Slayer as well and some targets. So Malong, this thing right here, and for the Xyz, there is Aggregator. So yeah, the 3 cards, obviously there's no Link Monster, so no Tri-Brigade Mauser. Odeon, okay, this is a great deck and also a very good deck list. I like this a lot, and I think we're getting closer to something that probably has the potential of being one of the top tier decks in the format. I think this is really good. First of all, consistency-wise, I think there's a lot of starters here. So there's 6 Man with a Mark, obviously because of Anubis. There's 3 Field Spell. So that's a 9 like instant 1-card starter, and then Extravagance as well as Apophis the Serpent is like a semi-starter. It doesn't do anything on its own, but it does set your Apophis the Swan Deity, which can be used right away. So at least it gets you to like an Omni Negate, which is good. It's a good thing. And obviously Statue of Anguish Pattern is a remarkable card in any slow format. Also, this card is interesting. Sudden Thunder Swamp. I mean, yeah, you can set like a continuous trap that has an effective summon itself. It's fine. It's a tech card that I remember like reading once, and I was like, all right, it might see play one day if like the format becomes like super nerfed, but obviously in Genesys it is a nerfed format. I think my only problem is that the points cards, I'm not really sure if they were like the best to play in this deck. Like Nibiru, I don't really think is like that great overall. Like, yeah, sure, a lot of people are playing it, but I don't know. I don't really think a lot of decks are playing into Nibiru anyways. Like, this deck, for example, is never playing to Nib at all. So, I don't know. Maybe it could be good against, like, Punk and stuff like that. So, like, the good decks might lose to Nib, and then, like, everything else, I don't really think so. But yeah, 2 Forbidden Droplet, which is also very interesting in a deck with, like, such a low ceiling. Honestly, I would just play, like, more real hand traps, like Fua and stuff like that, or Ash, whatever. Maybe Fua is not even the best unless you play, like, a heavy board breaker build, which this deck is kind of doing with Dark Rule, Dark Rule and Evenly. I don't disagree with Evenly at all. I don't think that's bad. Maybe play Ultimate Slayer in the main deck, and then, like, with all the targets in the extra deck, just like the, what the Runick Radiant Typhoon player was doing. I think that would make a little more sense than playing Nibiru in this deck right here, but honestly, I could be wrong. Maybe this is the right way to do it, because when you have Nib, if your opponent is playing, like, a slow tempo deck, then you know, you can outgrind it because this deck is a very good trap deck in like a slow kind of like a matchup. And against like a fast matchup, then these cards are really broken. So I don't disagree with it all too much. And then the side deck is like really scary. Flying Sea is nasty in here. All the Xyz based decks, they get completely crippled by Flying Sea. It's not even close. And obviously there's no Link summoning. So good luck getting rid of this card. For Contact Sea, yeah, Contact Sea is even worse. That's the reason why it's 100 points for a very good reason. And Retelling Sea is incredible against Lunalight and stuff like that. So it's especially for that deck. Can't really think of like too many other decks that would lose out to Retelling Sea. I don't know. Yeah, it's a very niche card. Maybe Runick, I guess you can say, like this deck. No, actually no. Never mind. You're never summoning a monster. That's true. I forgot this small little detail. And I think here not a lot of spell cards even summon anything. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, so yeah, Retelling Sea is kind of like a mid card. Oh, you can use it against Emergency Teleport, but it's a one-of in the Punk deck. But yeah, overall, very toolboxy extra deck, even though you're probably almost never going into it. Nerva, the Power Patron of Creation. I mean, you can summon it by attributing 3 monsters of different types, so technically. And then you activate like an Archmage. Yeah, no, yeah, that's never gonna come up. I have no idea why this card is doing here. I don't understand. Yeah, I am very much confused. Maybe there is a reason. I'm just incredibly stupid, but I am absolutely not seeing it. Alright, cool. Anyways, okay, this, sorry, this was Edwin Strom's deck list from YCS Anaheim. He actually got first place at the event. Huge congrats. And he got himself the giant Pot of Greed as well as Dark End Dragon. And this is a remarkable deck list for sure. It's like the best Vanquish Soul, the best way to play Vanquish Soul. Super consistent, and it plays a huge amount of hand traps. So 3 Raisin, 3 Holy Stew, 3 Mad Love, 3 Caesar, 3 Burger, 3 Jalong. You are not breaking with a Vanquish Soul portion of the deck. And there's no K9 stuff at all. But yeah, 1 Radiant Kaiju. Maybe look into Dogran. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. But anyways, 1 Fire Attacker with 3 Impulse, of course, 3 Ash, 3 DD Crow. Overall, just remarkable. And then 1 Field Spell, 1 Trap, 2 Small World, 3 Extra, 3 Staker Soul, and the Continue. Overall, I have nothing to say about the main deck. It's just fantastic. For the extra deck, it's just 5 different 3-ofs. I don't even think you're going into it too often. Really, this deck is so incredibly good that just with like your main engine, you can easily win games. Yeah, I think if anything, Vanquish Soul, it might get like demolished by the next points update because it is a little too good in a format like this one. And also, it was like the very first deck that people gravitated to when the Genesys format was announced because I think Holy Stew was free and then it got like updated to 10 points each, but it doesn't matter too much. And also, look at this. The main deck is only like 3 Ash, 3 Holy Stew for the points. Anything else is like free in the main deck. And then the extra deck is completely free. And the side deck is really just 2 Book of Eclipse and 3 Droll. So yeah, this is 30, 45, 75, 85. It's exactly 100 points. Very, very clean. Huge shoutouts to Edwin for doing so well with this deck. And like I said, I think it's a really terrifying deck. Also, the one of Kaiju that, you know, if you're good at the game, you're going to be drawing into, and then you can out-Liger Dancer and stuff like that. Whatever. This is Generator. Wow, very interesting. There is no side deck in here, but okay, the points are 3 Pot of Greed and 2 Droll. That's it, that's all. And with Pot of Greed, if you draw into your good cards, I mean, you're playing a very scary deck, and Kuji Kiri Curse is another trade-in-esque card. You send a level 9 monster from your hand or face a field to the grave to draw 2 cards, so that's pretty cool. And there's a lot of generator monsters, and they're all bricks, by the way. So you're not really trying to draw that. I think the only one that isn't a brick is Vala, and obviously the level 4, the Loter. But yeah, everything else, if you draw, it's dog shit. Q, any again. You can, okay, special summon both this card and the... Oh, it's kind of like a Joe Cool for level 9 monsters. So that's the reason why there's a lot of actual names in it. It's not too bad, and if you go like QQ Enigan, summon the Mardell, then you can actually search your deck for whatever, and then you're locked under rank 9 monsters. Okay, it doesn't matter too much, like, everything that you can summon in the extra deck is like a rank 9 anyways, and it's actually crazy how you can hard summon an Aggregator, and then use its effect to send Malong or Garura from the extra deck to the graveyard, because yes, this card actually has an effect. It's crazy. But yeah, 3 Pot of Greed, man. Yo! It's not the first time that we're seeing this, and we're not seeing a lot of people playing 1 Pot of Greed. It's like 3 Pot of Greed or 0 Pot of Greeds, and this guy's going like ham with all the points being on Pot of Greed. Guy doesn't care, man. No chill. And obviously Ultimate Slayer because, you know, Aggregator can send these cards, but you can also send Aggregator or these cards. So, very good concept. I absolutely do like this a lot. This is one of the most aggressive decks in the whole format. So Punk Gold Pride. And it can make a disgusting amount of disruptions when it goes first. It is super explosive. I think it's the high ceiling deck, actually, by far. So we're seeing obviously zero punk cards cost any points except for Psychic and Punisher, which is kind of like a punk card. Because, you know, it's unaffected by everything when you have less life points. Well, it's unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. So obviously Continuous Floodgate's still active, but who cares, right? It doesn't matter. The one Ghost Ogre is searchable by your Jam Dragon Drive, and it's only 5 points, so who cares? Gamma is also kind of searchable, even though that's really stupid, but yeah, it's 15 points. And then Ash is 15 points. Very interesting how there's only 2 Ash, but obviously it makes sense because this is 45 points, and then, you know, 50, and then we have space for another 50 points. And we're playing 2 Ash, so 30, and then 20 for the Psychic and Punisher. The side deck, I don't even know if there's a side deck. Maybe it's just the best out of 1. But either way, the side deck would have to be 0 points, so you can play like Dark Ruler, Cosmic Cyclone, Kaijus, Lava Golem, etc. Lava Golem probably not, because you do need your normal summon for Xiamin and stuff like that, but yeah. I think the amount of starters in this deck is also really impressive, so 3 Ogre, 3 Xiamin, 3 Foxy Toon. This is kind of like almost a semi-starter. It depends, like you need this and any other punk card, so the likelihood is really high. There's no emergency teleport in here. I think it is very expensive in terms of points. It might be like 40 points. So either way, like you can't play a playset of Italy in the first place. But yeah, we can still play like 3 Gamma and 3 other hand shops, so not too bad, honestly. And it's a 37 card deck. And also it's a good deck. It's not like it's a bad deck. And also the Gold Pride engine adds a lot more gas to it. And it doesn't really need to summon Link monsters or anything, so I think this is a really scary deck. I would rank it in the top 5 best decks in the format for sure. I would say this with the Apophis deck, the Archmage deck. Maybe this is not too bad. Generator, I don't think so. I don't think Generator is like that good. It doesn't suck, but I don't know. Megalith, this deck right here, I think is also very good. So a decent amount of hand traps for sure. 3 Fua, 3 Ash, 3 Skullmeister, 2 Perilia. I don't really believe in Perilia. I wouldn't really have played that one, but I like everything else. So 9, 11 hand traps, not too bad. And we're also playing a decent amount of, you know, juice cards as well. So yeah, 3 Manju with 3 Aratron. This one, it can doesn't have any in-hand effect. Okay, no, never mind. I'm incredibly stupid. It's the same as Bathor. And then on summon, yeah, okay, so you can negate basically anything that would try to target one of your cards. Okay, it's kind of shit, but whatever. Bathor, I think, is better. And then there's also Phaleg. Oh, yeah, this card's actually quite good, right? No, actually, this card sucks ass. Okay. Yeah, oh my god. I was like, wait, hold on. I remember this card being played against me. Oh, no, actually, the only thing I remembered is that I won that game. 2 Ophiel, of course, with 2 Hageth. Okay, yeah, this search is a spell or trap. This search is a monster. And then you can also ritual summon for a monster by treating the... Yeah, okay, that's pretty nice. Fulok, that's the new Megalith monster from Doom of Dimensions. And then there's also Notra Plura, another new card. That's the level 12 big boy. It's a pretty good card. And obviously Fool is unfair. This card's insane. Maybe Cyber Angel Benten cost points, or you can't really play like the Drytrons in here, but whatever. Megalith Anastasis. This card is insane. And then also Unform, this card's pretty good. Portal, that's a field spell. It's good over time, but obviously on turn 1, all it does is really just recycle back one card, and then obviously every single turn it just keeps going +1 every single time. So yeah, it's a cool deck, and I think people are going to be very clueless against it, so you can really capitalize off of people's ignorance. And again, not a single Megalith card costs any points. So all of your points can be invested in hand traps, which is pretty nice. It's not like Vanquish Soul where, you know, since the revision, you at least have to pay like 30 points for Holisu. So if you're a good Megalith player, honestly, I think this deck is great. It's a great option. Every deck that we reviewed so far is good. And this one, I believe, Farfetch'd Tournament, and it's another really good deck. So it is the Utopia or whatever Automate deck, but without any of the Razor cards, obviously. Still playing a very respectable amount of hand traps, so 3 Droll, 3 Fua, 3 Meows, 3 Skullmeister. I'm not really convinced on Meows. I don't really think this card's too good. I think Droll is like one of the better cards that you can play against like the hardcore combo decks like Punk or I was gonna say Vanquish Soul. Not really, but yeah, definitely against Punk and Art Mage. Actually, that's pretty much it. Not a lot of combo decks, a lot of, you know, trap decks, and I mean, if they're not trap decks, they're still like backrow decks, like Generator and Runick, Radiant Typhoon. There's basically no trap cards. There's one trap card, but yeah, it's really funny how Punk Gold Pride plays more trap cards than Radiant Typhoon Runick. Oh my god, whatever. This deck is really nice. There are 6, hold on a second, only 12 one-card starters. So 6 spells, 6 monsters, and then there's like infinite 2-card combinations that work. So this with basically anything, this with almost anything, this with basically anything. This is also a 1-card starter actually because he plays the full package. And then this also with like basically almost anything. They're pretty much all extenders, and then obviously once you make a rank 4, you go plus, 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 plus. And you make a lot of negates, so yeah, this I think this summons Harbinger or something like that, I forgot. Number monster that you could summon Harbinger, but there's no Harbinger in here. I think that card costs points, and we're already on 15, 21, so 36, 45, 46, okay, 89? Okay, no, sorry, 79, and then, yeah, 99 points. So yeah, there's only one more point that we can play, and obviously that's not really possible, so... By the way, Onomatopera is one of the other starters. So yeah, this deck has like 14 1-card starters. It is really good. This deck is not going to be breaking. And I think this is one of the most important things in the Genesys format because people are playing way worse decks and those decks can break way more. So it's really important to play decks that just do not break at all. Even though it plays less hand traps, I think that's like very neglectable because it's incredibly difficult to FTK in a format like this one. And also if people have like the right hand traps against you, you are utterly screwed. So yeah, this is a good deck. I think also people just do not understand what it's trying to do. I have no idea how you're planning on beating Nibiru. There has to be a way. It just, I don't understand this deck at all. But maybe it involves summoning Utopic Draco Future on summon number 5 or earlier. Maybe. I have no idea. Or maybe it's this. No, yeah, this card doesn't negate Nibiru at all. It really doesn't. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I think there's a lot of like super diverse and interesting deck list from these 2 tournaments. I think it's like the Farfetch'd Tournament as well as YCS Anaheim. So I'm really looking forward to having more deck lists to review and also to playing the format myself. It's going to be really fun. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know how you feel about the Genesys format in the comment section below. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.